Blockbusters. You are listening to the Triple B Podcast. Let's fucking go.
Welcome back to another episode of Triple B Podcast, Bourbon, Belts, and Blockbusters.
Hello.
I'm Tim.
I'm Ryan.
And this is a show about us talking about wrestling, talking about blockbusters, all over a glass of nice bourbon.
Hells to the yeah, brother.
Episode 10.
Episode fucking 10.
Episode 10. What a milestone for us,
It
I
really
guess,
is.
right?
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah.
10 episodes. Feels like it was just yesterday. We did like a hour and 40-minute podcast in my garage, just literally blabbing about randomness.
We winged it.
Yeah, we winged it. The very first one, we had some little cheap-ass Amazon mics.
Yeah.
That were Bluetoothed to my phone.
Yeah.
But it got us to where we're at now.
Yeah.
Look at us.
Look at us now.
Just look at us. Would you look at us?
Look at it. Would you look at it?
Just look at us. All right. Well, we're going to kick this off with the bourbon of the week. This one was my picking today.
Okay.
I'm actually really excited for this because I've never even heard of this brand before. But
Did you stick with the keys?
I didn't.
Damn
I tried.
it.
I tried to. I did try. But those were the only two I actually saw that made sense I was at Total Wine.
Yeah.
And I saw both the Blade and Bow and then the Larceny.
Yep.
Saw both of them, and I was like, "Oh, that's right." So I started looking, and I was like, "I'm not seeing anything." And I was kind of against the clock, so I was just like, "All right, I'm gonna pick a different one."
All right,
and I went with this one.
I'm still excited. So what do we got?
We have in the paper bag.
In the paper bag.
In the paper bag. Yeah, this is how they gave it to you as you walk 40s? Out. Edward 40 hands. Beer Culees. All right. So we have Bib and Tucker.
Ooh.
All right. It is a Bib and Tucker, and it is a double char bourbon.
Okay.
All right. It is 88 proof, which means it's 44% alcohol by volume. And honestly, I'm going to be totally straight up with you. The number one reason I picked it was because I thought the bottle was so cool looking.
I mean,
and
it really is.
And then I saw double char.
Yeah.
And I was like, all right. So yeah, that's the bourbon we're going with.
Where do we pick this up
today?
From?
Got it at Total Wine up in Puyallup today.
Okay.
Yep. So they got it at Total Wine. I got it. I believe it was on sale for $69.
Okay.
Ended up, all said and done, was like $81 after the liquor tax and all that crap. But
Gotcha.
But yeah, I'm really excited for it.
I'm excited.
Looks
the bottle
delicious.
Looks
I mean,
really
the bottle
cool.
makes it look so like it's gonna taste so good.
It's kind of like picking a book. I don't really know about what's inside the book, but if the cover looks good, I'm drawn to it.
Yes.
And I feel like I would be drawn to picking that bottle.
And if the bottle was the cover of the book, then you know how books usually have the little brief summary of kind of what to expect in the story.
Yeah.
This says Bib and Tucker Double Char is aged for 6 years in new American oak, then finished in a second heavily charred barrel, giving this bourbon savory, smoky notes and an exceptionally smooth finish.
Oh, okay.
We will be the judge of that.
Yes, we will.
Oh, shart.
And while he is
excited about
pouring that, we'll go over our socials really quickly. Again, you can find us on Instagram, X, and TikTok at TripBPod. Our show is located on Spotify, Apple, Amazon, and YouTube. And of course, we got a Gmail, triplebpod619@gmail.com. So make sure you share, like, and comment on our post. Let us know what you want to hear from us. Appreciate all the support going on right now. Let's drink this in.
I gave us a nice little
Oh,
I don't know. That's like one finger, right?
Oh, that's a finger like, yeah. The big ice cube makes
I wanted to
it
try to
feel
make
higher.
it as even as possible, and then I filled mine too much, so then I had to add to yours, but then I overdid it there, so I had to add to mine again. So, it's just a never-ending delicious cycle.
Okay.
Here we go. Bibb and Tucker double char.
Cheers, brother.
Cheers. Episode 10. Let's do this.
It's pretty darn good.
Damn.
It hits hard.
That aftertaste is smoky.
Yeah, it is.
It almost has a Scotch aftertaste.
Yeah.
Honestly, I don't know how much Scotch you've drunken in your
I
day.
have drunken plenties of scotches.
It really does have a Scotch aftertaste.
Yeah, it does.
That's very interesting.
All right. Well, I'm going to
Okay.
give you a rating here.
Okay, yep. Give it to me.
I'm going to give
Shoot
it...
it straight.
I'm going to give it a 6.5.
Okay.
Going to give it a 6.5. I've been enjoying the less of a bite hit, and
Yes.
this hits hard from the
Yep.
first taste, and then the lingering like Scotch
Yeah.
taste afterwards. So I'm gonna go with a 6.5 on this.
Yeah.
What about you?
Yeah, I'm going to go with a 6.
Yeah, it's
It's
good.
not my favorite.
It's
not
good?
my favorite. Yeah, it's good.
Decent.
It's definitely a good, it's a good quality
yeah.
bourbon. I just personally, I think that I usually like a good smokiness to it
Yeah.
too, but it's almost like I feel like I just ate burnt wood.
Yeah. I think it would be good in an old fashioned for sure.
Yes,
Yeah.
I do.
Yeah.
I 100% agree with you on that. But yeah, I'm gonna go with a 6 on it.
Yeah.
Not the best one that we've had. Actually, I think that might be the lowest one that we've done.
I think we both
Did we-
agreed on a 6 on the one of the ones I did.
One of the other ones. Okay.
The first one I picked. So
Yeah.
the Bondstone, the one with the Undertaker logo.
Oh,
on it.
yep. Yeah. I do remember that.
But
So
I think similar in taste. To be honest, not as smoky, but no. I mean,
yeah, this one really smacks you in the mouth.
yeah, it does. This is gonna be a sip on
Yes,
one.
it's gonna be
through
it's gonna be a sipper. We're gonna be sipping here, everybody. But that is okay.
yeah,
Here we go. So before we jump into this,
yeah.
I just wanted to point something out. We've never even mentioned this before. We live in Washington State.
Yeah.
We are both pretty massive Seahawks fans.
Yeah, we are.
And today is the first Blue Friday
Oh, dang.
of the new season, of the 2024 NFL season. So I just wanted to throw that out. That's why I'm wearing the Hawks jersey today. It's a classic throwback jersey because they play against the Chargers tomorrow.
All right.
Tomorrow night at like 6 p.m. or something like that. I don't know. It's a preseason game. It's on a Saturday, so they're kind of weird times sometimes.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I just wanted to throw that out there. That's why I'm rocking usually either rock just a tank top or I wear the Triple B hat or I'm wearing some form of socks that's related to stuff that we're doing.
Yeah.
This is what I decided on today.
Well, I think it looks good.
Yeah, what do you
good call.
got? Oh, you were rocking Scream.
I'm rocking Scream. What's your favorite scary movie?
Yeah, that's his.
That's mine.
That's his
That's
right
mine.
there.
Yep.
Yeah. Also, I mean, you're not too far off because I know you are also a Titans fan.
Yes, I
So
am. So
it
it's
is-
that time of year. Preseason's heating up, or about to start. Training camp is wrapping up, and we're getting right to it.
We just had last night the two first preseason games.
Yeah, I believe so. I did not
So-
catch them. So
The Giants beat the Lions.
okay,
I believe it was 14-3,
okay,
and then the Patriots beat the Panthers. I want to say
gotcha.
17-3, I believe.
All right.
So-
all right. And there's only 2 preseason games now, right? Or is it
3
still
preseason
3?
games. Yeah,
Okay.
there's 3 preseason because it used to be 4.
Yeah.
It used to be 4 weeks
But
in
then
the
they
preseason.
extended the
But then they extended
regular.
the regular season, and then essentially everybody gets a bye week before the
Gotcha.
season starts, right? So
Okay.
they run 3 preseason games.
Yeah.
Then everybody has that week off to kind of prep for
Yeah.
week 1.
And there was talks of bringing it down to even 2 games.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised because I wouldn't be shocked if that happens in the next couple of years because of the addition of the 18th week in the regular season and just the NFL. Like, a lot of the players hate the preseason anyways.
Yeah.
I understand, like, I get it. Like, I understand coaching-wise it's good, player-wise it's good, but it's also, like, you are then risking injury for games that literally don't matter.
Yeah.
Like,
and some
the
of these
preseason is like the absolute, I think it's like the absolute last tiebreaker when it comes to postseason stuff.
Yeah.
And like, I don't know that it's ever come to that.
I don't think,
I could be wrong. It might not even have to do, I thought that, like, once you get past 14 or 15 different tiebreakers, if you had to, they would go to preseason record as part of it. But I don't know that that's ever happened. So it is kind of pointless. But
some guys are in contract years, and to lose out on big money in a preseason game would definitely hurt.
Yeah. The only parts that it makes sense fully for the preseason games are the, like, undrafted free agents, rookies that were drafted late, stuff like that.
Yeah, makes sense.
Veterans or guys that had been in the league that were out of the league that are now trying to make a comeback type thing. Like, for them to be able to just, like, prove their worth for special teams and certain other aspects of the game makes sense. But, like, I don't think you need a Tyler Lockett or Aaron Rodgers playing in the preseason at this point in their careers type thing, right?
Yeah,
but, they usually wait till, like, you'll get at least a quarter, maybe even a first half for starters on some teams, usually, like, the third game.
Yeah.
Like the last preseason game. But a lot of them don't play right now in the first at least 1 to 2 games, so we'll see.
Yeah.
Anyways, so that's
results.
That's kind of an off the beaten path there, but it's starting, man. It's starting. We're getting back into Seahawks season. So
it's almost fall time, and that's what I like.
Which is also soup season, which I'm stoked about. But that's for a whole other. that's a whole other episode. All right, that doesn't start with a B, so we'll move on.
Here it comes.
That brings us into belts. We are jumping right in with the go-home show for SummerSlam.
Yeah, SmackDown.
SmackDown on August 2nd.
Yeah. The show opens with Rhodes and Solo. Cody Rhodes challenged Solo to meet him face-to-face in the ring, one-on-one, and that led to what at the main event at SummerSlam being a Bloodline rules match. So what were your thoughts on this segment? And
I thought the segment in and of itself was solid. The back and forth on the mics was really good. Solo held his own 100%, especially with the what chants coming from the crowd. I thought he kind of moved his way through that pretty damn well. For realistically having a very limited amount of mic time. Yeah. Like, really, because, I mean, the majority of the time before WrestleMania, he was the enforcer. He didn't speak.
Yeah, he was just
like, he literally didn't,
in the background.
Yeah, he really didn't talk or say much until he took over as the new Bloodline. So I thought he did really well for it probably being, probably pretty close to being able to count on one hand how many full-blown live mic segments he's done.
Yeah.
Because a lot of the things he's been doing recently have been the pre-filmed vignettes. So
true. And I thought the same thing. I thought this was the best he's ever been on the mic, especially going face-to-face with Cody Rhodes, who is top-notch on the mic, right?
Yeah.
Hits all the heartstrings, whatever you want to say. Cody Rhodes got it, and to have him be able to weave through that with him, it was awesome to see. It got me hyped for their match.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the one part of it that I I understand the reasoning behind it, I guess. But I think I could have done without the Bloodline Rules match again. It's and we'll talk a little bit more about it a little bit later on the episode, but I don't think it's protecting Cody Rhodes very well.
No, it gets us away from just the typical interference where the ref doesn't see it kind of thing, and we get that a lot currently in today's product, so I thought that stipulation helps. We knew the interference was going to come either way. This gives a reason to interfere in the match, so I think that part does. Do I think the match needed it? No, but like I said, it's just nice to get away from the ref getting distracted part of it, so...
Yeah, true. I just feel like he won it in a Bloodline Rules match, then he had one other defense now, and now it's going to be another Bloodline Rules match, but against a different, I don't know. It just seemed like it was like too close together.
Yeah, I can see that.
To a point for me to, I was just kind of like, all right.
But it still fits the bloodline.
It does. It fits the bloodline, and I get what you're saying with the whole interference, because like it's going to happen anyways. We're going to get it.
Yeah.
But yeah. Anyways, so that was that.
Yeah.
Solid segment. Now we know what we're getting fully at SummerSlam. That leads us into Andrade versus Carmelo 2. Happened on the previous week. Carmelo wanted a rematch. Got the rematch, and goddamn, for a show where nobody that's competing at SummerSlam is competing on it, right? Because they're not having any of the talent that is actually in a match at SummerSlam competing on the Go Home show. Carmelo and Andrade, they straight up cooked.
They really did.
It was a goddamn good match.
It really was. It had no business being that good.
And I still can do without any of the goddamn like video promos and stuff of Carmelo and all that. Like I'm just like whatever. But the match itself, goddamn.
Yeah. No, I think
it was really good.
I think you're 100% right. It was a great match. A little disappointed in the outcome. I kind of wanted like this lead to a third, like one person wins one. The other wins the other.
That's what I was expecting too. I was expecting Carmelo to take this
and lead to a third. It just kind of derails after a second straight loss. Do you really have a third match after that? I don't think so, but you never know.
Yeah.
But really good match.
Yeah.
Both stars shined in that.
Yeah. As we previously had predicted would happen.
Yeah.
Tiffany Stratton
she was given
a brand new customized pretty in pink briefcase.
It fits her personality so well.
It really does. It's
got a purse strap.
Purse strap, and it kind of hits all of the things that Tiffany Stratton said that she was going to turn the briefcase into after she won in the post-show conference at Money in the Bank. Like, she said that she was going to get one with, like, a nice shoulder strap so she could wear it crossbody and, like, all that stuff.
Absolutely.
She was going to bedazzle it. It was going to be pink. Like, and then, like we talked about last week, Bayley and Michin destroyed it. So we figured this was coming. And lo and behold, it happened the night before SummerSlam. So,
no, I thought that was a good touch to it. And then we get Davenport helping out Isla Dawn and Alba Fire in their tag team title match with Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill. And I'm noticing a trend with the women's tag teams.
Constant
interference. But they're also...
Oh, that's not what you were talking
about. No. They're all turning into trios. They are. They're all like turning into these groups of three, and it got me thinking, are we heading towards a women's trio tag champion versus just a straight up tag team champion? And I wanted to get your thoughts on that, because that's, to me, what it feels like it's going to.
I mean, it definitely has that feel for it, just because like you have this now taking place with Davenport, with Isla and Alba. You have Sonya Deville's new trio with Shayna and Zoe. You have
Lyra and Katana.
Yeah, Lyra,
and
Katana, and Kaden, and then you also have Damage Control.
Yeah.
Like, we have literally four trios of women right there.
Yeah.
And shit, we might be forgetting another group right now.
Honestly,
I mean,
but...
it's us. It wouldn't surprise me if we're forgetting something. But yeah, it's just, I don't know if that's where they're going or if that's where they should be going, is to introduce trios titles with the women's division, with the trios. I don't know. I guess it would open up more doors, but then it's also like a lot of the trios are also some of the ones that have been going for the normal tag titles. So then what are you doing with the tag titles?
Well, I think this would be like changing them from tag to trios is my thought process.
And not having.
Yeah, and it would, because
Gotcha.
NXT is producing a lot of great women's wrestlers right now, and I foresee them coming up, and it looks like they're trying to get everyone on the show, get some TV time, and what better way than creating trios, and so that was my thought process.
I guess that makes sense. I was thinking just because, like, in AEW,
they
have the
have
trios
both,
and they have the tag titles.
Yeah,
so that's where I was like, I don't know, like,
no, I
don't feel like there's necessarily enough women on the roster right now to fulfill both a trios tag and a normal tag for titles.
No,
then it's like, now we just named 12 women, and then you also have the ones that are in the singles department. Then it's like, what do we have left for the tag titles? Bianca and Jade. That's pretty much it.
Yeah, no. So that was my thoughts on it. It's, I mean, I don't know where Bianca and Jade go from this loss. I mean, maybe they try to go after him again, but it was just weird. If it's not leading to these trios, like,
I mean, does Naomi join Bianca and Jade? And now that's another trio.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because, like, they've definitely kind of teased that with their interactions backstage in the last couple of weeks. So,
I didn't even think
who
about
knows
that.
What we got.
So don't want to go too deep into that, but maybe on the horizon. And with today's WWE, it wouldn't surprise me. So,
talk about tag titles. The show closed out
with the Bloodline going against DIY.
Bloodline against DIY.
It wasn't too long of a match, but it was a good one.
It was a good match.
It was a good one. They balled out, and there was moments in this match had me believing DIY could win.
Yeah,
I thought Bloodline was gonna just demolish, but there was definitely, I was like, oh my God, DIY is going to pull this off.
Yeah.
And, it didn't.
And then Jacob Fatu happened.
And Jacob Fatu happened.
Just absolutely destroyed.
Oh.
Fucking
just
destroyed.
So fluid, though, in the ring. Like, the moonsault to the Impaler DDT, like, simultaneously was incredible.
His moonsault is incredible. Just the way he goes into it.
Yeah.
Because he jumps the second rope.
He does the Tiffy time moonsault.
Yeah, he literally jumps the second rope onto the top and then a backflip. But he is a big dude to be doing that.
And he nails it every time so far.
Time. Like every time.
Picture perfect landing.
And he like puts them far away from the rope on purpose.
Yeah.
Like he wants it to be a spectacle.
Yeah.
Every time he sets it up. For everyone watching to just be like, no fucking way he can do this. And then he does it. And you're like, what the fuck, man? It's crazy.
He nailed it every single time. So
SmackDown before SummerSlam ends with
new tag titles.
New tag Bloodline champions. Took gold for the first time. Yeah. New Bloodline getting gold.
First part of Solo's prophecy coming true.
And Jacob Fatu's only third match in the company.
Yeah.
Wins gold. Which
their entrance was fire, by the way. I know I think it's Jacob's intro music, but they feel big time, and I liked it.
Yeah. Leads us into SummerSlam. We watched it here.
Yeah, we did.
Together. It was a really good show.
It was an awesome show.
So what we did on last week's episode, which dropped the day after SummerSlam. We filmed it the day before SummerSlam. We went through and we gave our predictions for SummerSlam. What we realized was we ended up predicting 11 different things to take place throughout the show, while forgetting to predict one of the matches. We completely forgot to predict the CM Punk versus Drew McIntyre match.
Which I'm almost thankful we did.
Me too, because I had no idea where it was going.
I did not have any clue what was going to happen during that match, so I'm glad we left it off, because there was no... It would make our results that we did predict a little less impressive, I feel like.
Yes, absolutely, I agree. So, we're going to run through the results of SummerSlam, and then as we talk about the results of SummerSlam, we're going to match it with how we did on our prediction.
Yep.
So, first match that happened was Liv Morgan against Rhea Ripley for the Women's World Heavyweight Championship match, our title. We predicted that Liv would retain, and that
Dom would turn
she
on.
would retain through Dom turning on Rhea and joining forces with Liv. And boy, oh boy, we're 1 for 1 right out the gate.
We
all right?
are 1 for 1. What a match it was, too. It was a solid match. It was...
Yeah, it was a really good match.
Great chemistry in the ring. Those two.
Rhea's fucking playing off the shoulder, popping out of the socket.
my God.
She has to be double jointed, because it legitimately looked like the first time when she rammed it into the announce table.
Yeah.
It looked like it was out of place.
Yeah.
So, like, she has to be able to just do that.
Yeah,
and if not, it was actually out, and that crazy-ass person just rammed her Mel Gibson from Lethal Weapon that shit back into place, and then kept going with the match.
Yeah.
So, whether it was a work or it was actually happened, regardless, it was very impressive. And Rhea's ability to sell moves is so good.
So
like,
good.
we talked about the fact that, like, I love Liv Morgan, I love her character, but her finisher is not great.
No, and it's not to her detriment.
It's not.
It's the people selling the move.
Yes, yeah.
And
it seems as though a lot of wrestlers don't know how to sell that move.
Yeah,
they need to take Rhea Ripley's masterclass on
she sold it twice.
She sold it twice. Once onto a fucking chair.
Yeah,
and she did it beautifully.
Yeah.
So, like, it made the move look great.
Yeah.
It made the move look devastating. It makes it actually believable.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was really good match all around. We technically, I guess that means we were 2 for 2 on that, because we predicted Liv retaining and we predicted the Dom turn. Yeah. So we did get both those right. So numbers on here are gonna be a little off, but we're technically 2 for 2 out the gate.
Okay. That brought us to Braun Breaker defeating Sami Zayn in the Intercontinental Championship.
Yeah.
Kind of a quick match. It was good.
Yeah.
It was fast paced. And we predicted Braun would win that one. Both of us didn't want it to happen, but it did happen. And
you predicted it. I just agreed, because I was like, I don't fucking know what to think. So, but yeah.
Yeah. I think it was time. You can't have Braun Breaker losing again in that situation with how dominant he's been. Mm-hmm. To your point, I think we talked about it, is we hope that he goes on a Gunther type reign, where maybe not break his record, but have this lengthy one, because he does seem to be that dominant in the ring and stuff. So, and it was cool to see his dad and uncle in the crowd with DDP to be able to celebrate that. So, excited for what's to come.
First gold, man.
That opens up Sami Zayn to things down the road. But yeah, that leads us to technically 3 for 3 now.
3 for 3 now on our predictions. That brings us into the U.S. title match, which was Logan Paul defending against LA Knight. Fucking show stealer of a match.
It was.
Like, honestly, it was so good. These two guys have such good chemistry in the ring. And I'm just going to keep saying it. Logan Paul is so goddamn good in the ring. He has taken this and just, like, he just grabbed a hold of it and said, I'm going to become the best at this.
and he's
he
not
is
disappointing.
fucking pushing for that, dude. He is so good in the ring. It's crazy some of the stuff that that man is able to do in the ring.
Absolutely.
So, but we predicted that LA Knight was going to win this match because they had that
gold.
star strapped to his back, just shooting. And he needed his first gold around his waist, and lo and behold, we got that also. We're sitting at 4 for 4 on predictions right now.
Yeah. That leads us into Nia Jax defeating Bayley, becoming the new WWE Women's Champion.
Which puts us at 5 for 5.
5 for
on our
5
predictions,
on our
because we
predictions.
both predicted Nia Jax was going to win this. But
We also,
our first wrench
Yep.
into our predictions, we had predicted that Tiffany Stratton was going to cash in the Money in the Bank briefcase tonight and turn on Nia Jax after she won. They really set it up to make it look like it was going to happen.
They did.
Her music came on. It was during the match, but her music came on. She ran down with a ref like she was going to cash it in. Turned out that it was really just a distraction because Bayley ended up going after Tiffany, and then Nia Jax ended up coming out on top with absolute destruction of Bayley too. But
Can we talk about the powerbomb Bayley did to Nia?
Yeah.
Holy crap.
That was almost, I'm jumping ahead of myself, but that was almost my banger of the week. I didn't pick it. I have something else, but that was almost my banger of the week because that was so impressive.
It was. The match was pretty good for what it was. I know you're not a big fan of Nia, but I think
the match was solid.
I think the two put on a good match.
Yes.
And
I agree.
The Tiffy wrench in there, it was a good for everything, and then
it legitimately made us think that she was cashing in.
Yeah.
So she did her job. We got caught with the swerve because we had predicted it. We thought it was happening. We were like, let's fucking go. We had been 100% on predictions so far throughout the show. So we were like, oh my God, it's happening. And then it didn't. We were like, what the fuck? Like even to the point where they were celebrating in the ring afterward, and it was like, the camera was on them for a longer period of time than it almost needed to be.
Yeah.
So we just were like, she's going to turn, something, and it didn't happen. So they did a really good job. But the powerbomb, go back to it.
The powerbomb was just, Bayley gets Nia up on and powerbombs the shit out of her.
Yeah.
And
Nia climbed up.
And it wasn't just a hold her up. She walked.
That's what I was about to say. It wasn't, because she was up, like, doing like the head pound right in the corner on Bayley. So Bayley's already down. Bayley then grabbed her, sat her up, and it wasn't just a grab it and then power bomb. She walked halfway across the fucking ring and then did it into the middle of the ring.
I think we gasped even harder every step she took. We were like, she's gonna slam
going.
down. No, she's still going.
Oh my God. Yeah, it was very impressive. It was Bayley's awesome, and Triple H talked about it in the post show how Bayley is just she's so constant. She's a constant in the company. She's gonna deliver every time she's out there. She's great with the crowd, whether she's a heel or a face. Like she knows how to work the people. And
I think Nia needed this.
Yes, I agree with you.
Yeah.
I do. I think she needed it. But yeah, it was all around. I enjoyed it. It was a good match for my issues that I have taken with Nia Jax in the past. It was a good match.
He's coming around, folks. He's coming around.
I'm coming around.
All right, so that makes us 5 for 6.
That makes us 5 for 6 on our predictions. Yes,
doing solid still.
Yep, still doing pretty
solid.
Damn good.
Which goes into Drew versus Punk, with Seth Rollins being the special guest referee. Again, we did not predict this. We did forget it, not on purpose, but we talked about it a lot last week.
Yes,
so,
yes, we did.
It was a good match. I still don't think Seth Rollins needed to be part of it, but it does give both Drew and Punk an out with whoever loses, because you knew Seth was going to be a part of that. So it doesn't necessarily make one look weak in their loss.
No, and I think it did a decent job to protect both guys, regardless of how the outcome went. But it also, let's just say the outcome, Drew McIntyre ends up beating Seth Rollins, CM Punk.
Yeah.
But I think I agree with you in that I could have done without Seth being involved, but Seth getting involved ended up adding the wrinkle to the whole story of Punk falling victim to the same shit he had been calling McIntyre out for.
Absolutely. I was going to talk about that.
So it's the whole time Drew's been dumbing his way out of everything, right? He's his own thorn in his side. He keeps shooting himself in the foot with all of the opportunities that he has because he was so focused on CM Punk and all of these other things. Well, now it ended up being in the middle of this match, CM Punk got focused on Rollins.
Yeah.
For really no reason either, which almost made it even that much more sweet for McIntyre, was because CM Punk freaked out because Rollins had the bracelet on. Yeah. But he literally just picked up off the mat, so it wasn't just in the ring.
Yeah, well, any ref would do.
Yeah, so he picked it up and just put it on his arm to just keep the match going. And then CM Punk sees it, and so on and so forth. One thing leads to another. CM Punk ends up hitting the go to sleep on Rollins.
Yeah.
And then getting taken out by McIntyre, and Rollins reluctantly counted the pin. But
we talked about how, actually, my buddy Justin, he talked about how the storyline is eerily similar to SummerSlam. Was in 97 with Bret Hart versus Undertaker with Shawn Michaels as special guest referee. And it was funny because Punk was wearing Bret Hart colors. And it kind of had that feel to it. So it was...
Well, we almost got the actual chair shot scenario that played out, but Rollins stopped himself.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. So it was a nice nod to the match. I got to say, Punk's first match back from injury, he did great. I saw absolutely maybe great. One slip up in there, but other than that, the match was...
Yeah, there was one sloppy move towards the beginning of the match, too.
And with a blood feud that big, it's almost like you expect little minor things like that to happen.
And it didn't detract from the quality of the match.
Yeah, exactly. So Drew wins that one, and
we're still 5 for 6 on predictions because we didn't predict that one.
Yeah,
so that brings us into Gunther versus Damian Priest for the men's world heavyweight title match, which was a fucking doozy of a match.
It was a banger of a match.
It was. These guys put on a hell of a fucking match, man.
I fucking love Gunther and
physical
and Priest. We did not, when we first talked about this being,
I didn't want this to be the match.
We didn't want it. We didn't want it.
No,
and
I did not want this to be the match that was happening.
But holy hell, they pulled everything out in this match, and again, it just, the theme of the night is we predicted all these things, but it could have gone either way in all of these matches.
Yeah.
But solid match. We predicted that Gunther would win.
Yep.
And we also predicted that Finn Balor would betray Priest in this, and that's exactly what happened.
Exactly what happened. So Priest hits Gunther with the South of Heaven. Gunther kind of rolls towards the ropes in the process of just that natural body motion of Gunther rolling. Priest is trying to go get the cover. He rolls Gunther one more quarter turn. So it's pretty close to the ropes, but he's not under them.
Yeah.
Gets the roll up. He's looking away from the outside of the ring. He's looking more towards the middle of the ring. And you get the 1, the 2, and right at the last second, you see Finn Balor hop up, grab Gunther's leg, and put it on the ropes. And we were instantly just like, oh my God, it happened. He actually turned on him. It happened. And then they show the replay in the arena.
And Damian
Priest sees the replay of it. And he flips, man. He dives through the bottom rope and grabs Balor by the neck, and just the look in both their eyes was just crazy. But then this led to
Gunther grabbed him, put him in a sleeper hold. We got a big stare down between Finn and Damian while he's getting this sleeper hold, and Priest is getting more angry as the move is happening. He gets out of it, but then again gets put back into
tries to go after Balor again, and then Gunther takes a full advantage this time and drops him in the middle of the ring and
then
hits him with the sleeper, and that was the end of the match.
And new World Heavyweight Champion, Gunther. So excited for Gunther, but also excited for Finn Balor betraying Judgment Day here. So
and that puts us at 7 for 8
all right.
on our predictions, which leads us into the... Well, actually, technically, we did we did predict another thing to happen during the show.
The Awesome Truth.
We predicted that Miz would turn on R-Truth during this show. We thought it was actually going to happen for a minute because they were both in the ring together to announce the attendance record for SummerSlam. We thought it might happen. It went completely different way.
A-Town Down came
A-Town Down Under came out. We were talking crap. They talked crap to Jelly Roll and MGK, which then prompted Jelly Roll to get into the ring. Jelly Roll was the special guest musical artist. He had a song. Had a song that was a theme for SummerSlam. He also sang America the Beautiful, I think it was. But anyways, and got him into the ring. He hit a couple chair shots, and then he hit
beautiful
Austin Theory with a fucking gorgeous one-handed choke slam. It was wonderful.
And then they proceed to hit him with the 15-knuckle shuffle.
The 15-knuckle shuffle, which I coined first.
You coined it first. You literally said it right then and there.
I said it as it happened, and then Triple H tried to steal my thunder in the post-show afterwards.
Cameras in this house.
You can't trust anybody. No. Is essentially what we're at here. You can't say anything without shit getting stolen. So, anyways, 15 knuckle shuffle. It was pretty solid.
Yeah.
But we were wrong about that. So at this point, we are technically 7 for 9.
Yep.
On our predictions, which leads us to the main event.
Cody Rhodes versus Solo for the WWE Undisputed Universal Championship. And
in a Bloodline Rules match.
And Cody retains, but to the return of Roman Reigns. The original Tribal Chief. The one and only Tribal Chief.
So, we predicted Cody would retain.
Yep.
We predicted Roman Reigns would return.
Yep.
So we got both those right. So we are now, at this point, we are sitting at, what were we, 7 for 9. We're 9 for 11.
Yep.
There was one more prediction that we had that I really thought was going to happen.
It totally made sense to do it too.
Yes. So the other thing we had predicted was that after Cody had retained, all was said and done, that we would get a celebration in the ring with KO and Orton, and that Orton would then turn on Cody, prompting that feud. That did not happen. Cody celebrated by himself in the ring. Orton and KO did come out to fend off Tama and Tonga earlier in the match before Jacob Fatu came in, and then we got
Jacob Fatu again,
amazing, shining
in every moment, and that splash to the announce table to Cody Rhodes was awesome. I've read online that Jacob Fatu is okay, and that was actually just to sell it.
Yeah, it was more of a work for it to make sense that he wasn't involved when Roman came out.
Exactly.
So we're hoping that was, but the way it happened did make if it was literally fully just a work,
he sold the shit.
Give
out
that
of
boy
it.
an Oscar, because that was, as soon as he made contact with the fucking table, he was
flipping out and holding his leg and
trying to stand but couldn't, falling,
people checking on him.
Made it. I feel like you can, for the most part, you can kind of be a fairly good judge of when people are, when it's a real injury or it's not a real injury type thing.
Yeah.
This one was very believable.
It was.
But yeah, so that ended up being 9 for 12.
Yeah.
Total on the show. So we went 75% on predictions.
I think that's pretty solid.
And we were, other than the Drew and Punk, I think we were 100% on the outcome of every match.
Yes,
so
exactly.
We went 100% on who would win every match. It was the extra little added things that we were throwing in there that we didn't quite get right, but we were 100% on the matches, so that's pretty damn good.
In no way did that take away from the fun of the show.
No, not at all.
The show was not predictable, at least in my eyes. I think it was a fantastic SummerSlam.
I think we were able to make those predictions and be so accurate with them just based on like our history and knowledge of watching wrestling and just kind of understanding storylines and the way that things are going and the builds to different sorts of things. And I think it's just like we kind of have a feel for that.
Yeah.
And so I don't think by any means, like you said, I don't think it just it takes away from the show or the quality of the show or the quality of the writing or the storylines or anything. Like, it's all like WWE is fucking killing it right now.
Yeah.
And they're, we've done what I think is it 3 PLEs now that we have covered.
Yeah. 3 PLEs.
Right. Because we covered Backlash, we covered Money in the Bank, and now SummerSlam.
Well, then 4 because Clash at the Castle.
Maybe it was Clash at the Castle.
No, because we definitely talked about Backlash. We talked about Money in the Bank.
Oh, so we've done 4 then. We've done 4. Okay, cool.
So,
and we've had pretty quality. There's only one that was kind of a little lower, but it wasn't really like that low.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was all around. It was they've been putting on good shows. So
yeah, which brings us to our 3 bells.
Yes,
our 3 bells rating.
Rating for the PLE.
The amount we were talking, watching the show, how excited we were during all the matches. I'm going 3 for 3.
Yeah, 100%. It's a 3 out of 3.
It was
sure. They got all 3 bells.
Texting buddies of mine, I'm like, this is one for the ages. It's been a while since SummerSlam felt that way.
Yeah.
There's been some moments at SummerSlam, but this was like a home run.
It was a start to finish badass show.
They did a great job building the storylines to each match.
Yeah.
And then with all the twists and turns, just added another layer to it.
Yeah.
It's going to be hard to beat this SummerSlam. 3 for 3, and you agree?
Yeah,
3 for 3.
Definitely 3 for 3. I think this was the best PLE that we've covered so far.
Yeah.
On the show, I think. And I think we've given 2 other...
We gave Backlash a 3.
We gave whatever was Backlash the I Quit match.
Yes.
Yeah. So yeah, we gave that one a 3 out of 3.
Yeah.
We may have given Clash 2.5.
2.5. And
then
you gave a 2, and I think I gave like a 2.5 for Money in the Bank. So
yeah.
So we haven't been given threes across the board. So, but yeah, no, I think
this just reset the standard for what we're expecting out of PLEs though.
Yeah.
Which, to a point, it's also like it's one of the big
Big Four, yeah.
Right? It's one of the big 4 PLEs, so you almost kind of expect that. So it's might be something that we talk about too, like, can we hold Bash at Berlin to the same standard as SummerSlam? I don't know.
True.
Maybe. I mean, it is a PLE, so like realistically you should be able to.
Yeah, and it's
but it's also like it is a lesser PLE. Like I don't think anyone would disagree with that necessarily.
100%.
So I don't know.
This is on the road to Survivor Series is our next big 4. So yeah. Great show.
Yep, great show. Which brings us to Raw after SummerSlam. Monday Night Raw.
I gotta say, before we even get to any, I was like a boy when first starting to watch wrestling. This night was electrifying from start to end, and
from the gate
and
out
just
the gate.
All the moments had me going, yeah, and really enjoyed this. This was probably one of my favorite Raws of the year, and that's saying it's kind of like the Raw after Mania. I didn't expect any big surprises, but it just felt like there was more and more going throughout the show.
So we didn't get the Orton turn to start the feud with Cody at SummerSlam like we had kind of predicted. But to my surprise, I wasn't expecting this.
No.
Because Orton's on SmackDown.
Yeah.
So, to my surprise, the show starts with Gunther, which that part's not the surprise. The show starts with Gunther. He's now the reigning World Heavyweight Champion. That's his right.
Yeah.
He should be starting Raw. And he started it with a doozy. Hell of a promo.
Really
talking
great
himself.
promo.
Like he's really good on the mic. He's good just in the ring. Gunther is the full package.
Yeah.
But essentially, he says that like he won't be caught off guard by anybody or anything, and essentially like whoever his next opponent is, that whole kind of spiel.
Yeah.
And then you hear
I hear voices in my
Orton's
head.
theme song hits, and it was just like, whoa, it's happening, because Gunther and Orton said this when he came out. Gunther is in the position he's in due to him beating Orton at King of the Ring.
King of the Ring, yeah.
But did he really beat Orton at King of the Ring?
There was some controversy with the pin, and you know, I've been thinking about this, and then SummerSlam made me totally forget about it. But I know Triple H said quickly after there is some controversy. There is going to be a follow-up match, and a perfect way to do it then for the World Heavyweight Championship. So
absolutely,
definitely caught me off guard, but I'm here for it. And the promos, they like the jabs at each other were great, and Gunther saying, "I'm not going to be caught off guard by you and your RKO."
Yeah.
And Randy retorts by saying, "Maybe I don't want you to."
Yeah, he says, "I want you to see it coming."
Yeah. I thought that was just so sick, man. That was so good.
Awesome. We get a video. Well, I guess technically we got Damian Priest out in the ring first.
Yeah.
Damian Priest comes out. He's talking about obviously what happened at SummerSlam, the betrayal by Finn, kind of calling him out. Then you get Finn up on the screen talking, and they kind of go into the little bit of history, the long play of the build towards this feud. I think it's been going on longer than even like most fans have like kind of caught on to the fact that there's rising tension here, because I mean it was fucking year ago almost.
It goes back to Money in the Bank last year.
Yeah,
Finn was going against Seth Rollins for the World Heavyweight Champion, and Damian Priest earlier in the night won the briefcase, and it was just the two of them in the ring, you know, Seth versus Finn, and all of a sudden Damian comes out and it throws Finn off his game, and then fast forward to SummerSlam of last year. Again, it's a rematch between Finn and Seth Rollins, and you almost get that same stare down, almost like Damian Priest was staring down into the ring while Finn was looking at him, and that's what happened at SummerSlam with the, you know, the tables turned. So I didn't even think about that. I had to go back and go, holy
they've been building this for a long time.
So the seeds they planted way ahead. Props to them.
Yeah.
But then also the whole Judgment Days thing leading up to this was no leaders in the group, and everyone got to each other's backs. But then it turned into Rhea and Damian were champions, and they kind of took lead of Judgment Day. And then all of a sudden they're like, I want to do this on my own. No one's really having each other's backs anymore. Yeah. So you almost are agreeing with Finn in a way.
Yeah.
But also, I mean, I have to say, Damian Priest coming out, cutting a fire promo.
Great.
Getting the crowd behind him. It's
absolutely
probably the quickest face turn. Like, I know it was like kind of happening, but this crowd was behind Damian Priest in this moment.
But then the segment kind of ends with the camera on Finn, then kind of panning out to Liv, JD, Carlito, and Dom all coming into focus of the screen. And it's like, oh shit, it wasn't just the Judgment Day breaking up. This was just kicking Damian Priest and Rhea Ripley out of the Judgment Day, because they all stuck together. So now we have a new iteration of the Judgment Day that I coined the Day of Reckoning. But it is still just the Judgment Day.
New Judgment Day?
New Judgment Bloodline? Day? New Bloodline? Whatever. We're rolling with it.
Yeah.
This kind of led us into a little later. We got CM Punk out in the ring talking. He's in a good mood, surprisingly, because he lost obviously this kind of bloodbath type match at SummerSlam, but he's talking about the fact that he's happy because he was told that it would be at least 9 months for him to recover from the tricep injury at the Royal Rumble, and he did it in 5.
Yeah.
And then he was able to come out and put on that match that he put on at SummerSlam. And when you really think about it, you're like, oh, yeah, damn, that was pretty impressive.
Yeah.
It's his first match back in WWE in over a decade.
Mm-hmm.
Singles match. All he had competed in was the last couple minutes, really, of Royal Rumble.
He was in the last 5, I think.
But he got hurt.
Yeah.
Shortly after he got into the ring.
Yeah.
So it's really like, I mean, he hadn't competed in a match since, was it November?
It was before, because
October in AEW.
I want to say, no,
September?
it was August, because that was his last match in AEW, was at All In Wembley. And
do they not do All in Wembley? Oh yeah, sorry, yeah,
He
because
did,
it was the end of August.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
yeah,
end
yeah,
of
yeah.
August.
That's right.
Last year was his last match.
Yeah, so almost a full year
Yeah,
was the last time he wrestled a match.
yeah, full on match.
Yeah, that's crazy. And for him to then be able to do that in 5 months after the tricep injury and everything, so he was happy. But he calls out McIntyre because he's essentially, it ain't over.
Yep.
McIntyre still has the bracelet with his wife and dog on it. So he calls out McIntyre. He wants a fight. And Seth Rollins answers.
Yeah,
Rollins comes out. Rollins pretty much like says he wants to fight. So they're getting ready to roll. McIntyre comes out in the crowd talking shit to both of them.
he says, "Hey, I'm up here.
Yeah, but then
Pay attention to me."
Yep. And then he ends up using the bracelet as a strategy to get Punk. Punk rolls out of the ring, hightails it up into the stands after McIntyre, leaving Rollins alone in the ring.
And lo and behold,
And
Bronson Reed comes out and fucks Seth
yes,
Rollins
who
up.
earlier in the night, we don't want to, I guess, skip past it too much, but earlier in the night, he had confronted Adam Pearce saying that, like, he should be in a match tonight. Like, he should be having some form of opportunity. And Adam Pearce kind of was like shutting him down. And then Bronson Reed said, "Fine, I'll make my own opportunities."
Yep.
And that was the end of it. You didn't know what that meant.
Yeah.
Right. Because Bronson Reed hasn't really been like one of like the main card players.
No, and he's been kind of feuding with Sheamus and and Ludwig and in that kind of
like
group.
that whole thing. Yeah.
And so him coming out to attack Seth
Yeah.
Rollins
And
was
boy,
huge.
did he come out and attack Seth Rollins. He fucked up Seth Rollins.
And it wasn't one tsunami.
Not
It wasn't two. It wasn't three or
not
four.
four.
Not five.
No. It
But
was six
six.
motherfucking tsunamis off the top rope for that like 300-something pound dude onto Seth Rollins' little frame. God damn. I mean, in comparison,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he was like coughing up blood. Like
Yeah.
they made it very believable, and he just kept coming back, man.
Yeah.
He hit like the 2 or 3 in a row. Then he like looked like he was leaving. Then he runs back into the ring. He gets set back up. He hits fucking 3 more, leaves, comes back like he's gonna hit another, and then they finally fucking pull Rollins out of the ring and out of harm's way. But yeah, it was wild. I read, I don't know how accurate it is, but I read that they actually were using this as a way to potentially write Rollins off TV for a little bit.
Yeah, I heard maybe he still has some lingering injuries, and and this will give him a little time to heal. It gives
Which
him,
I'm happy with.
Yeah.
To a point, because like you said, it'll give him time to heal. It will hopefully give us time to be able to bring legit solid closure to the end of the McIntyre Punk feud without there being that added Rollins angle that we had talked about before.
Yeah, and once
for better or worse, whatever.
And once Rollins does return, he got someone to go after now instead of Punk and Drew. So that feud can keep going.
True. I was going to say it might actually give us a little bit of a break to then be able to come back to the Punk versus Rollins feud.
Well, I think eventually, that's what we're getting to.
Yeah.
But this, I think it just pulls him out of that storyline, keeps Drew and Punk going, and just being one-on-one. And now again, Rollins returning eventually will go after Bronson Reed and keep him out of that. So it just prolongs because I feel like Punk Rollins is Mania caliber match almost. So
yeah, absolutely.
So yeah.
So that leads us into we had the New Day against the Authors of Pain.
Yeah. Kofi's returned and match, nothing crazy about it. But
pretty typical tag team match.
Yeah. New Day wins the match.
Yep.
But then gets attacked by Final Testament, of course.
Naturally.
And who comes out to rescue them? Odyssey Jones. He re-debuts on Raw.
Yep.
He made a brief appearance before, quickly disappeared, got drafted by Raw, and haven't seen him since. So him coming out was a big surprise. But what he did
was an even bigger surprise.
He picked up both members of AOP, who are big motherfuckers.
Yes.
And gave them sidewalk slams. And
at the same time, double sidewalk slam.
Did not look like he struggled one
on
bit.
Each time. No, he had the one dude up, and then he waited for the other dude to turn right into it. He picked him up, and then he just, boom, hit double sidewalk slam.
I'm not going to lie. That was almost my banger of the week, too.
That was, goddamn,
that
man.
That's crazy.
Impressive.
What kind of got me wondering where the storyline is Woods was very confused by Odyssey.
I don't even think he was confused.
He didn't know anything about it.
But it was I don't think it was as much as confusion as it was almost like he felt disrespected.
Yeah.
Because Kofi didn't talk to him about it first.
That's true. Yeah.
So I don't even know that it was more of confusion. It's like, what the hell's going on? It was more like, why did I not know that this was a thing before it happened type thing. So that's just kind of planting and building more and more seeds as in Xavier Woods' mind of kind of what Final Testament has been trying to plant with Kofi thinking that he kind of runs the group and he's the better, he's the higher level guy, I guess, between the two of them. So
I mean, this segment had me going in all directions. I was like, okay, New Day wins. Like, they just keep winning against Final Testament. Like,
where is this
going?
Yeah.
And then Odyssey Jones comes out. I'm like, dude, he would be a great fill-in for Big E, taking that role. Mm-hmm. I don't know if Big E's coming back with his neck injury, and it doesn't seem, more and more, it seems unlikely. So I was like, cool, we got a new iteration of New Day, back to 3 members, and then the Xavier Woods part happening. I was like, oh, this, I think it's causing that doubt, like you said, and we may be seeing the end of the New Day for now. So, yeah. All
right. So we got a backstage segment with Sami Zayn and Jay. Sammy's a little down, he had lost on Saturday, lost IC to Braun. Jay's trying to hype him up, like, yo, man, you're going to get it back, you're going to get your rematch, like all the stuff, you're going to win the IC again, blah, blah, blah. And then Sammy's like, dude, you already know I got that rematch. So he gets his rematch this coming Monday against Braun Breaker for the IC. And during that same backstage segment, we also got Jay saying, "Hey, you're gonna get your IC back, and then you and me, we're gonna handle some unfinished business with a Judgment Day." And
go after those tag titles.
He said, "You're gonna become a double champion."
Yeah.
So who knows what's going on? I don't realistically think Sammy wins the IC back.
I don't think he does.
I think this is gonna end up being kind of not a squash match, obviously. They'll do a full match and put on a good match. But I think Breaker's still going to end up winning it and retaining, which will then allow that storyline to end and Sammy and Jay team up and hopefully get some tag titles.
Win the tag titles.
Back on their shoulders. So.
And then we go into Priest going against JD McDonough. And
I'm pretty sure, didn't JD call Priest out too? Like, isn't he the one that set the match up?
Yeah,
JD McDonough's an idiot. Let's just start there.
Yeah, he is. But the match was great. It was good. They were beating the crap out of each other.
Yeah.
JD took some sick bumps in this match. Scary spot where he hits the announce table with his head he got a big head.
He's got a very big head.
So that may have helped him out, but really
he is a real life Funko Pop.
The electric moment came after this match,
yes, absolutely. So Priest wins due to disqualification.
Yep.
Right. The Judgment Day comes out, interferes, obviously, starts attacking Priest, and then here comes Rhea.
Yep.
Rhea comes out. Liv and Dom get in the ring, start beating the shit out of Priest, and then here comes Rhea's music, and Rhea comes out. She chases them off, but she grabs Liv last second. Fucking Liv sold the shit out of getting thrown into that goddamn ring post. But yeah, and then she's gonna go hit her with a powerbomb of some form through the announce table. Dom saves her. They run off. Well, ends up being just Priest JD. And JD in the ring, and he's like, JD's kind of standing, like looking at Priest, and then he turns around and he's face to face with Mommy, and fucking she hits one of the cleanest headbutts I've ever seen in wrestling.
Yeah,
like just fucking cracked him. He turns around and then takes one of the best South of Heaven chokeslams I've ever seen.
Yeah,
too. Like we've both talked how it's not our favorite finisher. We don't really like it that much, but it looked like a thing of beauty when JD McDonough took
did.
Goddamn stuntman.
Yeah.
So we got the Terror Twins.
Terror Twins standing in the ring.
They were deeming them on the show as the Terror Twins.
Yeah,
so,
really excited for them to still have each other's backs.
Yeah.
I think they're a great pair, and excited to see where this is all going. Which brings us to our main event, the Wyatt 6 debut.
Beautiful.
Against American Made, new name for
Gable and the
Creeds, and I like it.
Me too.
I like the name. I like that they gave them a name. But what's cool about where they were in Baltimore, and 11 years prior at the same arena is where the Wyatt family debuted. And so it was just kind of, we were talking last episode, like they've kind of dragged this on. I think maybe this is why it was to have their debut match at the same time that, at the same arena
place,
where the Wyatt family, and they did a cool video package showing some old footage of that. And, anytime Bray comes up on the screen, it just gets me in the field, and
chills,
Brody
man.
as well.
Straight chills.
So great stuff. The match was great. The Wyatt Six look like a formidable group there.
Yes, absolutely.
You got Uncle Howdy just sitting in the chair watching the match, just
with Nikki Cross sitting
right,
cross-leg right in front of him, like just creepy as all hell, man.
But just another nod to Bray Wyatt, how he used to sit in the rocking chair watching Rowan and Brody fight. So
Rowan hit the in honor of Brody Lee before he did the little kind of springboard somersault senton.
It was a good match.
Yeah, good match.
I think
Wyatt 6 got the clean win.
Yeah.
Got to pose all creepily and mystically and pretty badass in the ring again with the lantern, and it'll just be interesting where they go. Is this the end of the American Made feud, or if they'll continue? They probably could, and I'll be fine with it. But just a nice debut match for them. I think Gacy, Dexter, and Rowan can pull it off. They're all great performers. When really good in the ring, man.
Rolled into the corner and then was like doing the upside down look. It was awesome. It was just several nods to the old Wyatt family, and well done. Well done.
Absolutely. That brings us to our banger of the week. Mine. I'm going back to the LA Knight Logan Paul match.
Okay.
The whole match in and of itself, like we said, I think it stole the show. I think it was the best match of the night for SummerSlam.
I think,
like just all around, like it was just a great match. My banger of the week, hands down, is the fucking springboard backflip to the outside of the ring that Logan Paul hit. It was
pulled that off.
It was fucking insane. It was ridiculous. And I was actually I watched a clip of his podcast because right after SummerSlam, whenever he did the episode, he had The Undertaker on his Impulsive podcast, and they were talking about that move, and Logan Paul was like, "Yeah, I'll never do that move again." Like straight up, he was like, "I'll never do that." Yeah, he was like, "I'll never do it again." It was like, it was in my hometown, I was feeling it, but he's like, it's too high risk, it's too dangerous, and the margin for error is zero.
Yeah.
And so he's like, it's a very difficult. He's like, it's a super difficult move to pull off.
Yeah. I mean, he pulled he sprung board.
Literally did a 180 in midair turn, like does the springboard up, but is doing a 180 at the same time. Lands facing the other direction on the top rope, and then does a backflip to the outside of the ring. The only part of it that you could have critiqued at all would have been just the landing.
Yeah,
of
it looked
how
like he could have hurt him.
Yeah,
it
looked like he could have blown his knee out because he almost overshot it.
Yeah.
Holy shit, man! Like, what the fuck? But yeah, so that was definitely my banger of the week. It was just like that. That's a move we haven't seen that before, and I don't know that we'll see it again.
Great call there. My banger of the week is Finn Balor's turn on Damian Priest at SummerSlam. I'm a huge Finn Balor fan, and I think it was time for him to get away from the Priest Rhea Judgment Day, and now this puts him almost in that leader role, and that's where he shines. He was the leader of the Bullet Club back in New Japan, and I think this role just fits him. Gets him to be able to go towards the heavyweight championship again. But that evil stare down while he's getting choked out just had me on the edge of I was like, yes! So, banger of the week, Finn Balor.
Yeah.
Evil turn.
Totally.
All right, so this leads us to the belts question of the week, and I posed this towards you, but I got my thoughts on this as well. Do you think WWE can benefit from another title that we can add to the roster? If so, what would you add, or do you think they are good as is?
It's a good question. And I think it depends on what the title would be.
That's why I'm asking, where would you add it?
Okay.
Yeah. Where would you add this?
Where would you add it? Okay.
Like, what would you add?
I think one title that they've been missing, and they kind of attempted it with a 24/7 championship.
Okay.
But that was just like,
a joke. A championship.
Yeah, it was a joke. I think with kind of the shift in tone, the hardcore championship would be a dope one to bring back.
That would.
Especially like once they go to Netflix on Raw, and they're a little bit more going to be a little bit more loose with like the what they're allowed to do and whatnot. I think they totally could do that. I think that would just be more of an entertainment value of a title, though. As it always was. It was never like being the hardcore champion wasn't a stepping stone championship. Really, right? It was more of an entertainment championship, and to give some of those fucking psychopaths that they had, fucking Perry Saturn and Al Snow and Raven, fucking Crash Holly,
God, the Hollies, Crash Holly, rest in peace.
He was fucking. I mean, he was awesome, but he was fucking crazy. But yeah, so it'd be like it gave some of those guys things to do essentially, and I don't think that would necessarily hurt now. Either. And I always loved that championship just because of what it brought. You knew you were getting fucking weapons, you were getting tables, ladders, chairs, you were getting all the shit. Which I think there's an element of that the WWE is missing.
Gotcha.
Like I said, I feel like it would depend on what the title would be and what it would like what the goal there is. Like, do you bring back a cruiserweight title so that you have your little dudes going for gold that's not taking away from... Because then you might have a Carmelo goes for a title that's more believable than what they're turning the IC and the US titles into. Now what we've talked about is it looks like they are now those stepping stone to the world title picture stuff, which I think was always kind of a good thing with the cruiserweight division back in the day. you know, and what was probably like more of the Ruthless Aggression era when it was probably as big as it ever was, which was, it just gave them it was a big stable of competitors, and it gave them a title to go for because nobody was going to believe that Brian Kendrick was going to be in the main title picture.
Yeah.
Right? So I don't know if it's necessary that they bring any new titles in.
I think...
But could they do it? Yeah. And could they do it well? Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. I kind of got... I mean, I think they could benefit from one more title. I don't know if it necessarily needs to be SmackDown and Raw has separate one more additional title. Maybe they kind of do it like the women's tag titles where it could be defended cross-branded. But I think they're like, I like that the IC title in US are that stepping stone, but I think there just needs to be something more for the lower carders to go after that might not get to sniff the IC title or that. So I was thinking along the lines of a cruiserweight, lightweight title, but maybe not calling that so more people can go for it for that title. Almost like a European Championship back in the day. But I don't want it to be the European Championship. So I don't know what we'd call it, but I do want one more title. But I do also think they need to focus more on these non-title storylines. I think just like this Xavier Woods and Kofi Kingston storyline, I think there needs to be more going into it to develop what's happening. It just seems like it's a really, really slow burn and not at like this was the biggest revelation.
Not only is it a slow burn, but it's shallow. There's not a whole lot of depth to the story of what is happening. It's just like they keep giving it TV time, but without giving us any sort of actual gusto with it to actually like hook us. You know,
CM Punk and Drew are the opposite. They are doing what they're not in a title match, but hell, that was one of the matches I was looking forward to the most. So I want them to
felt bigger than any title match.
So if they're not going to add a title match, I want them to do more of what they're doing with that versus what they're doing with like the New Day and Final Testament. So again, I could see another title. But if they focus more on the storylines of non-title matches, I'm good for it.
Yeah.
And here we go.
That brings us to Blockbusters!
A few moments later.
All right. Into the Blockbusters. And this week we're going to continue with our regular recurring theme of Marvel. Because we're just Marvel nerds, dude. It is what it is, everybody. You got to just deal with it. And
I'm still going off the high of Deadpool.
Oh my
Wolverine,
God, I know. And we're going to talk a little more about that.
And then Comic-Con. I mean, how could you not be reeling from... Like, I need to talk about more Marvel.
I know. Absolutely. And that's what we're going to do today. We're going to talk because what we've done before is kind of just... almost report on news of stuff that we've been hearing, that we've been seeing. I want us to just talk and go over a couple things. I have 3 things I want to discuss. The first one is, what do you want the storyline to achieve with bringing Robert Downey Jr. back into the fold in the MCU as Doctor Doom now? Like, what are you expecting? And I'm not talking about fan theories you may have read or comics. Like how in your mind, how do you think it plays out the best possible way for it to make sense canonically with the prior stuff, right? Because I mean, he was fucking Iron Man. He was the #1 Avenger in the original 3 phases of the MCU. So
I mean, I liked what you talked about last episode where you know Robert Downey Jr. is the anchor of 616 and the Avengers are going to look for essentially another Iron Man and accidentally getting Doctor Doom in the process. But that's not where I think, you know, like, or that was a fan theory, right? So I thought, you know, I was thinking about this, how it can just tie into what we've been seeing, and I just feel like we got the Fantastic Four First Steps movie coming, and I think that the variant of Doctor Doom on that stage is going to be Robert Downey Jr. I don't think he's in the movie. It may be more of a post-credit, but I feel like it's going to show the Fantastic Four coming to the sacred timeline and Doctor Doom slipping through with them, and that being how they introduced Doctor Doom. And so that was my thoughts on it. Or maybe something to do with Wanda, like the Multiverse of Madness movie was her trying to bring back her kids, and so maybe something along those lines with trying to get Iron Man back, Tony Stark back. So,
all right, yeah, and I say I don't know. Like, that's kind of where that's why I wanted to ask this, just like pose this, because I'm like, I don't know what they do. Yeah. I love it. I'm excited for it, but I'm also like, you better fucking hit this out of the park.
Yes.
Because this is a goddamn gamble. This is the biggest gamble that Marvel's ever done now. Because
it does have fans pretty divided.
Oh, yeah. This is 100%. This is
very divided.
A 50-50 fucking split right now. As people are super stoked just to have Robert Downey Jr. back in the fold. But a lot of people are like, how the fuck does this make any sense? Like, how are you going to work this?
And they don't want it to ruin Endgame, which was the perfect ending.
Yes, absolutely. And I feel like that, I'm not worried about that. I'm not worried about ruining the ending of Endgame, because of who's directing these movies are the same people that brought that to life.
Yeah.
Right? So, like, they don't want a problem. I would be surprised if the Russo brothers want to, like, they're probably thinking the same thing. Like, we're not going to fuck that up. That was too fucking perfect of a conclusion of any character ever. Right? Like, it was too good. So I don't know, man. I've literally been at a loss. Yeah. Like, I'm just like, I don't know what the fuck they're going to do, but like I said, they better fucking do it well. I like the idea that you have of, because I feel like it's essentially like anyone that's been paying attention, it should be a foregone conclusion that it, like, something bad is going to happen in the Fantastic Four movie that then causes them to have to relocate. Yeah. Right? And we know Galactus is going to be the big bad. He is literally a universe eater. Mm-hmm. So you can probably, put two and two together to kind of have an idea at least as to what's going to happen. But I kind of like that idea of that variant of Doctor Doom. And whether it's a variant of... Well, because I guess they said they're bringing Victor Von Doom.
Yeah, they said Victor
They
Von
said
Doom.
Victor Von Doom, not just Doctor Doom.
Yeah.
Because I was going to say, like, it could be a Tony Stark variant that turns into Doctor Doom. That's like an evil variant.
I'd be good with that, too.
I'd be good with that also. But, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't mind the idea, though, that you said of his version of Doctor Doom, that variant of Doctor Doom slipping through also, coming to the Sacred Timeline, and now... Like, and then maybe he, like, sees pictures or, like, memorials of Tony Stark as Iron Man, and then he kind of, like, presumes that role, and meanwhile, he's actually evil, and, like, everyone's like, what the hell? Tony's back? What's going on? Yeah. You know what I mean? So, I don't know. They gotta fucking do it well.
They gotta do it well.
They gotta do it well, for sure.
Yeah. I mean, now, I know you said no fan theories, but is there any that you've read that stick out to you that you really like or want to come true?
I think probably the best one is the one that we talked about, I think, last week, where it's like the anchor being, and then that, like, Sam Wilson's new Avengers group that he puts together goes to search for a new Iron Man, a new Tony Stark, and then they end up with this. There are comic book threads, the different comic book stories where, like, Doctor Doom and Tony Stark have, like, body swapped. Yeah. There's also some where Tony Stark just turns into Doctor Doom. Like, there's a lot of comic history there where there's stories they can pull from. So that's where I'm like, that's more so where I'm lost at. It's not that I, like, just have zero ideas of what could happen. It's just that there's so many options as to what could happen that I'm like, I don't know where to pull from. Yeah. So, Yeah. I think the Anchor being one, especially just with what we like the introduction of that in Deadpool and Wolverine.
Yeah.
Which is kind of like a resetting to a point of the MCU. I don't know. I think the Anchor being one's probably the best option that I've read so far. I think it makes the most sense.
Yeah.
With, like I said, the happenings in Deadpool and Wolverine. So.
Yeah. I read kind of a dark one where they were saying that, Doctor Doom can, like, if need be, can take over a body. And so they're basically saying that Doctor Doom ends up in the Sacred Timeline, digs up Tony Stark, and takes over his body.
Dude, I'm here for that. I like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Ooh, I like that.
I think that would be a really cool way to make it happen.
But then who's actually playing Doctor Doom?
Yeah.
Then who's actually playing Victor Von Doom in that situation? That's what I want to know.
Cillian Murphy.
You're gonna make my dick hard. Goddamn.
What way to better service the fans by doing the one that thought was gonna be Doctor Doom and get both of them? Yeah. How cool would that be?
But then would that in a way ruin Endgame?
I mean, a little.
I mean, I guess no more than Deadpool and Wolverine ruined Logan.
Yeah, I wouldn't think so. So, yeah.
All right. Well, that was one I want to talk about. This next one I want to talk about is there's an X-Men movie that's going to happen. I guess they have kind of said that it's going to be a new team. Like it's going to be they're apparently they're not going to pull from the Fox properties.
Gotcha.
For this group. So I want to just talk like your opinion. Who do you think the 5 that you would like to see?
Yeah.
And like it could be some of the same characters that were in the Fox ones.
Just different
obviously
actors.
just different actors. But like just like the X-Men character. Think of like the cartoons or the comics, just the character itself, not for just completely forgetting about who's playing them.
Yeah.
Just the characters themselves. Like who do you think like the top 5 that you would like to see focused on in this, what's going to be this new iteration MCU X-Men team?
Well, you got to go with Cyclops. Cyclops, Jubilee, Rogue, Beast, and Nightcrawler.
Okay.
Those were the first to come to mind. Nightcrawler has always been one of my favorites. Beast the same. Thing for blue, I guess. But Cyclops deserves to be, he's one of the X-Men, right? And Jubilee, I think I liked her a lot in the cartoons. And I don't think she's been portrayed in any of the
live action
Fox. So I think having her, and then Rogue's character is awesome. So
yes, I agree.
So those were my 5.
Yep. So
to build around.
We have 3 of the same.
Yeah.
I'm going Cyclops.
Yep.
Because I don't think the Fox properties did Cyclops justice.
No, not at all.
At all. Like Cyclops is the leader of the X-Men.
Yeah.
Right. And I don't feel like he was really portrayed as that.
No.
Like it was kind of Jean was kind of the leader of the X-Men with Logan.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Cyclops, I think, is what would be like the focal point of like he'd be the leader. Like he's the one you need to run that team. But then Gambit, because Gambit is always and will probably forever be my favorite X-Men character. I fucking love Gambit. And then Deadpool and Wolverine, which we'll talk about in a minute.
Yeah.
Like they just like added to it for me where I was like, fuck, a good live action rendition of this. I'm here for it.
Yeah.
You can't have Gambit on there without Rogue.
Yeah.
Right. So Rogue is on there. Jubilee is one of mine also.
Okay.
And then I am torn between Bishop and Kitty Pryde.
Okay.
I don't know which one I would rather have. I don't know which one I would prefer.
I would lean towards Bishop.
Bishop.
I didn't even think of Bishop.
I think Bishop is such a just like a good, powerful character to have. But Kitty Pryde's got some fucking story.
Yeah.
Up in that character.
Yeah.
So I don't know. They would. I would love to see all of them. Honestly.
That was a good one. And Gambit was close to being. I don't know why he wasn't, because he was one of my favorite X-Men growing up.
Yeah.
But I really like Beast, and I was glad he got to play parts in the Fox and thing, but not enough. And I really like his character. So
I agree.
So I think he was the interchangeable one for me.
Yeah, and Beast was probably the interchangeable one for me.
Yeah.
Where I was like, but I was like, we have kind of seen, like we have seen some Beasts before in different iterations.
Yeah.
But we have with Cyclops as well. We've only seen Rogue once, and again, it wasn't.
Not great.
They didn't do a lot of. That was the one thing with the Fox. I love those X-Men movies.
Yeah.
But a lot of the characters they didn't really do a lot of justice to.
No.
Really, like.
They definitely leaned in on Wolverine
and Jean.
Yeah.
Wolverine, Jean, and Professor X.
Yeah.
Right. So it's
And
like
Magneto.
that's and Magneto. Yeah.
Yeah.
But like for the X-Men team, like those three is where I'm like, we could actually probably go a little bit without reintroducing them to let this other group build.
Yeah.
Because really, especially with Logan, if you think about it, he came in late to the X-Men.
Yeah.
Right. Like he wasn't an original member of the X-Men team.
True.
So that was that. We have very similar team ups there, and I think some that like if you put yours and mine together and you had like an 8-person X-Men team, it would be
movie.
fucking great.
Yeah,
right? Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Spoiler alert.
So this kind of leads me into the next one though, because I'm talking about Gambit, and I was always a fan rooting for Channing Tatum's Gambit movie to get made.
Yeah.
I wanted that I always thought Channing Tatum would play a good Gambit. So we didn't really ever talk about this after.
Yeah.
Do you think Channing Tatum should get another shot to play Gambit in live action after Deadpool and Wolverine? Or all right, also, like, what was your opinion on his take of the character? And we'll talk about the last bullet there.
Yeah, no,
I want your response first.
I think he crushed it in Deadpool and Wolverine. It's who I pictured Gambit as, the perfect costume for him, and everything in the movie was fantastic. And then just Channing Tatum's, his charm to the role really pushed it home for me. And then just having a similar backstory to Ryan Reynolds and Deadpool, trying to get this movie launched and having something. I want to see it happen more. I do want to see it. I think Ryan Reynolds walked so Channing Tatum can run.
Yeah,
right.
Hopefully,
hopefully.
Yeah.
And it sounds like they're trying to push for it now. I know Ryan Reynolds has gone on record saying
he's gone on record saying that, like, not only he obviously wants Channing Tatum to be able to play that character again, but he's also gone on record saying that Wesley Snipes should get like a final send-off movie as Blade.
Yeah,
which I'm not against that either.
I am not either. So no, I think he did great. I think he did it perfectly in Deadpool and Wolverine, and I'm ready.
I know
for
there's
his
a lot of online chatter about his accent in the movie.
I thought it just added to the
so did I. I thought it was great. Like, the whole purpose of that character in Deadpool and Wolverine was essentially a jab at both Disney and Fox for never making the movie.
Yeah.
Right? So the whole character in and of itself was relatively a joke.
Yeah.
But it was also done in a way that you could also see Channing Tatum playing that character really well in the future.
Yeah.
So it kind of pulls to not like exactly the same line, because what I'm going to compare it to started off as trash.
Yeah.
Which was Ryan Reynolds originally playing Deadpool in X-Men Origins.
Yeah.
Right? So it was like, that was awful. That was terrible. I don't think anybody would disagree with that.
No.
And if you do, I don't trust your opinion on anything in life. And then he was able to come on and make what he's made as Deadpool since. So it's like, if you want to judge the accent or whatever, should Channing Tatum be trying to do the Cajun accent? I don't know. Did they do it the way they did it specifically to kind of have fun with it in that movie? Totally possible.
Yeah.
I don't know. Right? But regardless, I want to see more of it.
Yeah.
I want to see more of Channing Tatum as Gambit.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because he just fits it so well. He looks great in it. The costume was fantastic, like you said.
Yeah.
Comic accurate. Like it was so good. And him with the cards and everything, and the fighting scene, it was so good.
So good.
So that brings me to the little final point here. And you didn't know this.
No.
So in the post-credit scene when Deadpool is doing the gotcha to Johnny Storm, and he's in the TVA layer, and he like walks up to the monitors. One of the monitors actually shows Channing Tatum's Gambit like walking away from something and looking back at the camera.
Really?
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah. So with that mixed with X-23 sitting at the table,
Yeah.
I think there's potentially more to be had for Channing Tatum's Gambit.
Ooh.
Yeah, I know. I don't know about you, but my pants just got a little tighter. So,
Oh yeah. No, I'm excited for that.
yeah, should be good.
Okay. All right.
Moving on to the next blockbuster section, we're talking Scream 7.
I don't know how we haven't talked about this.
I don't know either.
Because it's my favorite scary movie.
Yeah.
And it's been in the works for a while. But we're talking about it now. We got the return of Neve Campbell's character. She's coming back as Sidney Prescott. She was missing from number 6, but was brought up during it, saying she was off with her family and wanted to be away from everything. We got, Roger L. Jackson coming back as Ghostface voice. He's been the consistent thing throughout all these movies. Kevin Williamson is back to direct the movie, so he's directed 1, 2, and 4, and it's slated to start filming in December of this year, 2024.
Let's go. That should lead
to him, hopefully
to a late if not
2025.
It would be late, probably 2025,
Halloween.
if not early 26.
Halloween 2025, or it has been coming out. The last 2 movies came out in February.
I was gonna say around like Valentine's Day time.
Yeah, so I'm stoked for this. I've loved every single movie, and just to have Sidney Prescott back as the main focus of this, it just makes me excited.
Now that is at the expense of the 2 main characters that we've had in the last 2 movies, which is the Carpenter sisters.
Yeah.
Both Melissa Barrera and Jenna Ortega are not returning to reprise those roles for different reasons. We were talking before we started the episode today. Scream 6 ended in a good way for them to be able to kind of move on from those characters anyways. So, yes, I do think it is a loss to the franchise because Jenna Ortega alone is amazing.
Yeah.
But then
Melissa Barrera, I think
they
stood
were
out
both
as well.
really good in those 2 movies. So, yes, that is a bummer, but we're getting Sidney Prescott back. Potentially getting Gale Weathers back.
And we got Detective Kincaid, who is supposedly Sidney's husband. They at the end of 3, there was that, he was at the house with her. Yeah. And then in 5, they bring up his name on like when Sidney's first talking to Dewey in the movie. So this leads to believe Kincaid and Sidney have a family. So that's why he's rumored to be in this.
Which I would love.
And then we got Chad and Mindy also
potentially
rumored to come back, and it's fitting because they're related to Randy. So it just brings everything back to the original.
Yep, to the roots.
The roots of this
The
franchise.
original trilogy.
I'm just super excited. Anything Scream, I'm here for.
Yeah, man, I'm excited too. I love the Scream franchise. I've enjoyed every single movie they've put out.
Yeah.
Even number 4.
I thought, okay.
Number 4 was
No. I think number 4 is one of my favorites.
ooh.
It is one of my favorites.
Ooh.
Go back and watch it because it's I think the surprise in the killer reveal is like one I did not see coming.
That is fair. I will agree with you on that. I did not expect it.
And it was in Woodsboro again, and I thought they were onto something with it, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. It was violent. Okay. It was the only thing that wasn't good about it was just like the lens filming that they did on it. It has this like glowing golden aura filmed throughout it, which was weird, but I put it up near the top as one of my favorites. It's in my top 3.
Okay, here we go. Rank them. Let's go.
I go 1, 2, 4, 3, 5, 6.
Wow. Not how I would have expected that to go. I'm going 1. It's first, obviously. But I'm having a hard time for number 2. Oh, fuck. I'm going to go 1, 6. Oh. No, sorry. 1, 5.
Okay.
1, 5. 1, 5, 2, 6, 4, 3.
Wow. Wow.
I think 3 is probably easily my least favorite.
I really enjoyed it.
I enjoyed all of them.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. I enjoyed all of them. I think out of the 6 that we've had so far,
I think
it was just weird because like there was like the part like it's in Hollywood, but then we're on Woodboro like a set.
Yeah.
And I don't know. It was, and then that was the reveal where it was the mom, right?
No,
that was 2.
No. Oh, yeah. Number 2 had the mom, Billy's mom.
Number 2 had Billy's mom.
Spoiler alert again.
Well, that one, we're like 30 years past it. You need to fucking move on.
Number 3 had Roman, Sydney's brother, or brother and half brother. But
that's right. See, that's the thing. Like, I'm having a hard time remembering.
Well, you need to go back and watch it
from number 3.
Was it at the time? It definitely was. It was just a weird turn because there was certain things going on in the country that made it toned down, and it was more comedy than.
I would be curious. See, this is where we need Nick, because I would be curious right now to look at like the Rotten Tomatoes score of all 6 of them and see which one the lowest is.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I mean,
just out of curiosity.
Yeah.
Just to like kind of look up and back up one of our 2 claims for the ranking of them. I would actually be very interested in that because I would be willing to bet that the 3rd one is one of the lower ranked.
It definitely is one of the least favorite for sure.
Yeah.
I don't know. I was here for the reveal.
The 2 newest,
I think they did great.
Are head and shoulders better than the 3rd one. And the 4th one.
I don't know.
Personally.
Anyways,
that was fun. All right, moving on. We got a new segment, all right? And I'm excited for this. So, all we've been talking about is stuff that we're excited about and good things, all right? So, we're introducing this new segment. It's called Blockbusted. And what it is we're going to once a month, and we're planning to do it the 2nd episode of the month that we drop.
Yeah.
We're going to look on Rotten Tomatoes. We're going to look at streaming only.
Okay.
So that we're kind of hitting that content.
Yeah.
But we are going to find the movie from the previous month that came out on streaming. And I guess it's not necessarily streaming only, because it could have been a theatrical release that it went to streaming, right? So, regardless, we're going to find the movie that was on the streaming section of Rotten Tomatoes from the previous month that has the lowest combined critic and audience score. We are going to watch it
Okay.
Not together,
No.
but we are going to watch the movie. And then we're going to give our own review of the movie. We're going to give it our own ranking.
Yep.
And we are essentially going to tell you guys if it's worth watching or not. And holy sheep shit, did we start off with a doozy.
I laugh a lot because what a doozy did we start off with.
Oh my lord. So the movie we landed on couldn't have been a better starting point for this segment because it literally, well, it didn't have an audience rating yet, which means no audience, nobody has watched the fucking movie, which I would not be surprised of, or just nobody has watched it and then gave it a rating and a review on Rotten Tomatoes. So there was no audience rating, and there was 12 critic ratings.
Yep.
With a combined total of a 0%
This is
zero.
Full Ryan.
Fully rotten. This is wow. So the movie that we're talking about, the movie is called Clear Cut.
Yes.
Okay. The movie stars Alec Baldwin
Okay.
and
Jesse Metcalf, John Tucker, and Tom Welling, Mr. Clark Kent from Smallville, and the guy from Scary Movie is
the blonde dude.
The blonde dude. He played in Riverdale. He's been in a lot of things.
He was in White Chicks.
Yeah.
He's been in a bunch of stuff, but yeah, I also don't know his name off the top of my head. But yeah, so real quick kind of scene setter. Main character who I don't know who he is. Did you know who the main character was? The main guy? No. Okay.
He's been in a lot of TV shows. But
Yeah, so main character ends up out in the wilderness, right? Out in the forests with Alec Baldwin's character. They are lumberjacks, essentially.
Yep.
And he got this job working for them, blah, blah, blah. He ends up going off the beaten path on a lunch break. He finds this meth house up in the woods. He ends up stealing a bag of money. They end up finding him. Very quickly do they kill Alec Baldwin's character.
Yep.
Like this is within the first probably 10 minutes of the movie.
Yeah. 10, 15 minutes.
Alec Baldwin's character takes an arrow from a crossbow through the neck.
Caught me off guard.
I didn't expect that at all. Like, I was like, in the trailer, Alec Baldwin is very, like, kind of prominent in the trailer. He's on the cover of the movie, and then he dies in the first 10 minutes. I was like, what the fuck is going on? I had posted that he was the only notable character, like actor in the movie. I stand corrected. Tim was aware of a couple of the other people in the movie.
I thought this was going to be great with everyone in it.
Yeah. It was not. It really wasn't. Anyways, a chase pursues through the woods.
Becomes a chase slash.
It's like a cat and mouse game because it keeps coming back to the same meth house. Like 3 different times, the main dude came back to the same place. Which I guess in the long run, it kind of ended up making sense given like the story behind why he's doing what he's doing, which you don't find out about until like the closing fucking segment of the movie.
And then you find out it's a revenge.
The whole thing is a fucking revenge plot.
Yeah.
He was a cop. He got in with this bust he was trying to do, and the bad guys ended up killing his 5-year-old daughter, and then he ended up going on this revenge thing to try to find all these people. But you don't find any of this out until within the last 5 minutes of the movie.
Yeah.
And it was so bad,
I
Tim.
can't stop
It
laughing.
was so bad. It really was an awful movie.
Can I just mention that almost everyone catches on fire in this movie? And it's the fakest looking fire in each scene, but almost everyone catches on fire. And
I didn't even think about that. But literally everybody catches on fire.
And then there was a scene where he's pouring gas on everything, and then when he comes back to that scene after it blows up, nothing was burnt.
Nothing was burnt.
That he poured gasoline on.
Nothing was burnt. The
Except for
trailer,
two random
the
guys that
trailer,
caught fire.
the trailer itself that exploded was barely scorched. Or the fucking ending of the movie. And this, yes, there are extreme spoilers
But
on
I hope
this.
you still watch
But-
it.
Yeah, go watch it for your own amusement. But the ending, the goddamn logs.
I couldn't
That
stop.
was I have seen Looney Tune cartoons that are more realistic than the fucking log scene. Oh my lord.
I mean, if you look at that pile, there was like 8 to
There was
10.
like 8 to 10.
But they kept
But
going.
it was like the runway in the Fast and Furious. It just never
Never
ended. It was an unlimited supply of large logs. Holy shit.
Haley was watching it with me, and she doesn't tend to watch movies with me. She is reading while I watch, but this movie captured enough of her attention to watch it through, but to make fun of with me through it.
It's one of those things where, you know how pugs are just kind of like so ugly that they're really cute? That's kind of one of those movies. Like, this is like the pug
Yes.
of the movie world, where it's fucking terrible. It really is. The story's choppy. The acting is not good. The graphics, the CGI, or the lack thereof, it was just bad. All around bad. I'm pretty sure they lost, like they ran out of budget and they ended up filming certain scenes in a completely different area because the forest at certain points didn't even look like it was the same forest.
Haley mentioned this, that she was like, these guys had to have been in the movie because they were doing a favor for someone.
Yeah. I don't know what the fuck Alec Baldwin was doing in this.
I don't think he can get roles right now. Apparently,
With the rust shooting or whatever.
Yeah,
but goddamn, that's what you go for? That's the role?
I mean, the main character just...
He got shot in the neck with an arrow. Through and through, dude. Shot. And then it was probably what would have been in real time, probably 10 minutes later of like actual like movie real time, like of them actually doing the stuff. They fucking light his body on fire, and then probably 30 seconds to a minute after he's been on fire, he sits up screaming.
He gets shot. He gets put out of his misery.
Yeah, fair. Wish somebody would have put me out of mine. The movie was it was okay. Here we go.
Just hold on. Some of the decisions this main character made, like going to the same meth head house over and over again, or trying to get into the truck while two guys are like on the truck. I just couldn't stop laughing. It was a comedy, guys. It wasn't a revenge, violent movie. It's a comedy.
I want to also know, how did he end up with so many wounds before actually getting into anything? Like, he snuck off. He found the truck. He found the bag. He opens it. It's a bag of money. He takes off through the woods. He finds Alec Baldwin's character. He says, dude, look at this. Opens the bag of money. And Alec Baldwin says, oh, fuck. And then takes an arrow to the neck, right? And then he takes the bag of money and takes off back through the woods.
Yep.
And then one of the next times we saw him, he's bleeding from the head.
I think
from the ear?
I think the arrow clipped his ear and then went through Alec Baldwin's neck. But
Tim, there is a 0% chance of the physics of that making any sense.
I mean, Alec
They were
Baldwin's
standing
very-
facing each other the way we are, and Alec Baldwin took an arrow straight through the neck.
He was getting rowdy.
It makes no sense.
All right.
Why was he bleeding? Anyways,
Our review.
we're giving
score.
it a score, a percentage.
Yes.
Out of 100.
Just like Rotten Tomatoes.
Just like Rotten Tomatoes, it's a 0.
You're giving it a 0?
I'm giving it a fucking 0. It was one of the worst things I've ever watched before in my life.
I I was gonna give it a 5 just because it made me laugh a lot
because
how
you had the people that you knew in it.
it had people I knew. I love Smallville, so seeing Tom Welling in something that was exciting, and he was a beast in part of that movie, but then quickly ran over. Anywho, I gave it a 5 just because of the entertainment of laughing. But yes, I would give it a 0 as well.
Boy. Yeah. All right.
Sorry, guys.
That was our first edition of Blockbusted.
Yep.
Clear cut. It is on Prime Video.
You can rent it from. I did check. You can rent it from anywhere online.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, I rented it or purchased it through Prime. So it's locked in my library, unfortunately.
Yeah. But yeah. So
clear cut. Go see it.
Go check it out. All right, Blockbusters question of the week. It is less. Well, I guess it is a question.
Okay.
But we're going back to I think episode 2.
Yeah.
Where we did like a kind of quiz game for you. I got another one for you. We're busting it back out.
Okay.
All right. This one I think would be a little bit more up your alley. I do need my phone for this just because I have the answers to it.
Okay.
Written down. All right. It's a top 10 quiz.
Okay. Top 10 quiz.
And this is off of Rolling. This is Rolling Stones.
All right.
Okay. This
Very
is a Rolling
reputable.
Stones. Yes. It is a Rolling Stones top 10 comedy movies of the 2000s. So 2000 to essentially, I would say 2009 probably, right? Because I think 2010 then starts the 2010s.
Okay.
Right? So 2000, 2009, top 10 comedies.
Okay.
Okay. You don't have to go in order.
Okay.
You can just name movies and I'll tell you if it's on the list and what number it is on the list.
All right. Anchorman.
Anchorman is number 2.
Okay. Old School.
Old School is number 3.
Okay. Wedding Crashers.
Not on the list.
Them fuckers.
Yeah.
I take back them being reputable.
Yeah. Yeah. There's gonna be I think you could get most of these. There might be 3 that I might actually be a little shocked if you do get.
Okay.
But you could surprise me.
All right. The Hangover.
The Hangover is number 6.
All right. So we got Anchorman. We got Old School. We got The Hangover. Due Date.
No.
Okay.
Not on the list.
We got Couples Retreat.
No.
We got Horrible Bosses.
No. I don't think that was
It is probably
prior. I think that was in the
2010.
teens.
Yeah.
There is 2 on here that we have talked about a couple times on the podcast.
Shit.
One specifically that was like an answer to a question. I think it was my answer to a question.
21 Jump Street?
No, that came out 2012. Prior to that, one of the same characters.
Oh, Superbad.
Yep, Superbad is number 1.
Superbad is number 1.
Superbad is number 1.
Okay.
You have one more on here that has an actor that is in both Old School and Anchorman.
Knocked Up.
No.
40-Year-Old Virgin.
40-Year-Old Virgin is on here. It is number 10.
Napoleon Dynamite?
Napoleon Dynamite is number 7.
Okay.
Still haven't gotten the one I was talking about, though. An actor from Old School and Anchorman.
Will Ferrell.
Yeah. A movie with him in it. One of the best comedies
Oh my God.
of the 2000s. Come on, Timmy. You have to call me Nighthawk.
Oh, Step Brothers.
Yep. Step Brothers is number 4.
Okay.
And you are now sitting with the 3 that one of these I could see you getting, for sure.
Juno?
No. This is a spoof type movie, not a scary movie, though. It is a spoof horror movie.
Okay. And it's not
You're
scary
gonna
movie?
you're gonna fucking hate yourself for not getting this.
Spoof horror movie, but not scary movie.
Yeah. Zombies. It's the zombie spoof movie. If I say Hot Fuzz.
Oh, it's Shaun of the Dead.
Shaun of the Dead is number 8.
Okay.
All right, you're missing number 5
Okay.
and number 9. Number 5 is probably going to be the number 1 where I'm like I will be surprised if you get it. Number 9, that one would make a little more sense to me if you got number 9. It is a spoof. What are the movies when it like follows a band or an artist?
Oh.
So this movie has a character from Step Brothers in it, or an actor from Step Brothers in it.
Oh, Walk Hard.
Walk Hard, the Dewey
Walk
Cox
Hard,
story.
Yep.
You are just
Missing number
number 5, and this one was shocking to me that it was even on the list. But I guess for the time, if you really think back to that point in time, and this pushed the limits for sure of what was okay.
White Chicks?
No, there was it was like a kind of documentary style filmed.
Okay.
Followed a very bizarre character, had a mustache.
Oh, Borat.
Borat is number 5. So the Rolling Stone top 10 comedies of the 2000s is 40-Year-Old Virgin at number 10, Walk Hard, the Dewey Cox story at number 9, Shaun of the Dead at number 8, Napoleon Dynamite at number 7, The Hangover at 6, Borat at 5, which
really
is
high.
fucking mind-blowing to me. Step Brothers at 4, Old School at 3, Anchorman at 2, and Superbad at 1. The top 4 make
Top
total
4
sense
makes
to me.
sense.
Wedding Crashers should be
I think Wedding Crashers should be in there.
on that list
And I
in
think-
the top 5.
And I think 40-Year-Old Virgin should be higher than
Than
10.
10. Yeah, I agree. Like
Okay.
honestly, The Hangover, 40-Year-Old Virgin, and Wedding Crashers to round out the top 7, but not necessarily in that order.
Yeah.
But then take Borat off this fucking list
Yeah.
for me. And then
I'd take Walk Hard off of that too.
I would too. Yeah, I wouldn't have that on there. So
No.
it would be like I would take Borat and Walk Hard off.
Add Wedding Crashers.
I could see Napoleon Dynamite being on there.
yeah.
Sure,
I thought
for
that was
sure.
funny.
Shaun of the Dead, even like if it made the top 10, would be the number 10
Yeah.
for me.
I would almost add Knocked Up to that list.
Yeah, absolutely.
Just
Knocked Up.
'cause it was
totally
right around all those films during
Yeah.
that time. So, okay.
All right. There we go. That's that. And then for our actual question of the week for the Blockbuster segment, we have you also posed this question. You said if you could bring back one TV show, what would it be and why?
I would bring back the Santa Clarita Diet from Netflix. It had Timothy Olyphant
shit,
and
yeah,
Drew,
Drew
Barrymore,
Barrymore.
and it ended on a cliffhanger, and it never came back. And there's a lot of shows I would bring back. Let's just be honest. But Haley introduced that to me, and that show was good, start to finish, and it did not get a finish. So,
Damn.
Santa Clarita Diet.
I'm probably going to text you in an hour from now and be like, dude, I should have fucking said this. Like, are you talking like a show that didn't end the way?
This could be one you just want to see more of.
Okay.
But this one just happened to fall in because it did not end. It didn't have an ending. But I was thoroughly enjoying it.
Okay, here, I have one.
All right.
Your Honor.
Okay.
I believe it was a Showtime show. Mm-hmm. I was just watching it on Netflix. There's 2 seasons on Netflix, and it ended with, like, 2 seasons was it.
Yeah.
I guess there have actually been talks or potential for them to make a second season because of the following it has gotten since it got on Netflix.
Yeah.
It ended up being, it was like in the top 3 or something shows watched on Netflix or something, I think. But it's got Bryan Cranston,
Okay.
right? he is a judge, and very quickly you find out that his son, something happened with his son, and then they cover it up.
Oh,
That's all I'll say.
Gotcha.
But then it's kind of the fallout from that whole thing.
okay.
So yeah, it was really good. Like really good, super compelling and engaging, and it was just like, holy shit, like what is going on? And yeah, so I would be totally down to see a continuance of that and see more of that, because I thought it was a really good show, and I love pretty much anything with Bryan Cranston.
Okay, all right.
All right.
All
Well,
right,
buddy.
that concludes
episode 10
number 10.
of the Triple B podcast, Bourbon, Belts, and Blockbusters.
Again,
with
just two
our
guys
Bib and Tucker,
talking about wrestling.
talk about movies and
drinking
shows.
over- and drinking over a cup of bourbon.
Nice old glass of the Burb.
Cheers, man.
Cheers, dude. All right.
Skip it a do.
Let's